Well, this should be our last morning here at Cottonwood Springs Campground, assuming the RV tech can get me going again from my huge 12-volt DC problem. And basically it's empty again. Look at this. That's the camp host there. There was somebody in this site, there was somebody in the site over there, there was somebody in the site over there. So now it's just Barb and me and our neighbors. They've been very helpful, helping me sort through my issues. So, yeah. I'm gonna be glad to leave. Of course, we got a 30% chance of rain today. It rained pretty heavy yesterday afternoon. And we got a 60% chance of rain tomorrow. So we will see how this turns out. We're hoping we can at least get to Wind Cave this afternoon. We had been planning to be there yesterday, so we're a day behind where we had planned. And it's funny because we had planned 5 nights here. And it wasn't until the day before we were leaving that all of my issues showed up. And I really do think all my issues are related to the amount of dirt roads we've been driving. A lot of really bad washboard, huge amount of dust. So, and it's been bloody hot. Today's not, but it has been. So the combination of heat, vibration, and dirt, not good for electronic equipment. So we're gonna, hopefully get this sorted out. The tech that's coming this morning thinks that it might be as simple as a fuse. I'm hopeful that's correct. We will find out. Yeah, so basically the campground's empty again. This is the camp host working over here in our garden. And we're gonna let Kit do his thing. And then I wanna make some breakfast, and the tech should be here in about 45 minutes. So there you have it. And it's kind of a beautiful day right now. Some dark clouds up there, but some bright blue sky too.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise.
All right, so here we are, guys. I got nothing working. Oh, wait a minute, I bet I got something working. Let me show you what I got working. I got Joel working. This is Joel with Great Adventure, RV Repair and Inspections. And you're based out of Custer, right?
For the summer, yes.
And then where are you wintertime?
Usually in the Raleigh, North Carolina area.
Okay, so here's what we get to find out, guys. If he does a really good job, this gets published. And if we don't get it resolved, then you'll never see this. I'm pretty sure you're going to see it. So what we got going on is I have been having more problems than Carter has liver pills. So, here's my bay full of Big Beard batteries and Victron equipment and all that good stuff, and it's filthy. And we're thinking heat, vibration, and dust are probably the main culprit here. I know one thing that's wrong is, you see this bus bar right here? It's supposed to be attached. It's not. So there's that, and God only knows what else is wrong. But since I don't do electrical, we got Joel. That's what we got. All right, so we're gonna get into this. I'm not gonna film him doing whatever, but we'll go back over this once we figure it out. Fair enough? All right, so this is the cover off of the Lynx distributor now, and Joel's gonna kind of tell us what's going on in here, just so we've got an idea of what we got.
So what I'm doing is I've traced out the battery connection here. The best I can. It is tight in here.
It's very tight.
So,
nothing like cramming in as much equipment as you possibly can.
Yeah, the biggest thing is I want to make sure there's the battery. So the battery is this one right here. And I have 14 volts on one side. I have 14 volts on the other side. So that tells me 14. I'm getting power across. 14, 14, 14, 14. So they all have good power. All right.
So there's that.
So all our fuses are good.
Okay, well that's good news, bad news.
Yes. Now we got to figure out
What's wrong.
What's wrong? Yeah.
I tried doing a hard reset on that yesterday just in the hopes it was going to. No. So this is the original set of 12-volt batteries, which are less than 2 years old because they were theoretically, according to Camping World, they put in new batteries when I bought the coach. And you can see what they look like. So apparently, these 12-volt batteries is what's controlling my 12-volt system. It has nothing to do with what's down here, which is not what I had understood originally. So that's not good news as far as I'm concerned. So Joel's going to clean them up and test them and see what we got at that point. And then we'll see what's next. All right, so you'll notice my compartment's closed back up. That's a good sign. And then we're going to come down here to where my original lead acid 12-volt batteries lived. Well, they're not there anymore. Now we got a brand new one. Joel, talk us through this. What did we find? What's going on? What do we think?
So what we found out was the two 6-volt batteries that were in series to make it 12 volts had a lot of corrosion, had swollen, and had gone bad basically. They were only putting out about 2 volts. So what we did is Sally went and grabbed, say, new battery. I installed that for her. As soon as we installed that new battery, everything in the coach started running a lot stronger 12 volt. I plugged in my voltmeter on it. I had her run her 12-volt slide in and out, put an amperage on it so that we could get a load on there. The batteries went down. The batteries went down about a half volt, right? And then as soon as the load was off, the battery started to charge back up to 12.3, 12.4, which tells me that her converter's good. They're charging. The batteries had gone that bad that they were not providing 12 volt to the rest of the system anymore.
And the only supposition that I can make, and I might be wrong, might be right, is that possibly when the batteries were last serviced, the terminals were not fully tightened, and in all the crap and corruption that I've been driving through, that looseness and all the bouncing allowed the corrosion to develop to the point where it actually broke the connection completely.
And that could very well be, because there was a lot of corrosion built up on those batteries. So, and that's the biggest thing is you need to make sure you keep your batteries clean, and if they're lead acid, make sure you're checking your water and making sure that the water is filled up. The plates just need to be covered. It doesn't need to be completely full, and it needs to be distilled water.
Yeah.
If you put anything other than distilled water, you will actually ruin those batteries.
Yeah, you'll be buying a new battery at that point.
Yes.
And so just to be clear, I originally had 2 6-volt golf cart type batteries that were wired in series to create 12 volt, and now I've got a single group 27 12 volt lead acid battery, which I don't expect to last a real long time, but that's what was available, so that's what I picked up for now.
There you go.
All right, cool. So, and if indeed the converter is bad, what signs am I looking for?
When you get plugged up to shore power someplace, your batteries won't be charging.
These batteries
Yes.
won't be charging.
Yes.
Because those, of course, will be charging from the sun.
Right.
Okay.
And the way they wired that system in is there is a parallel between them, so it is charging those batteries. I just think those batteries were so dead and had such a bad corrosion.
They couldn't even take a charge.
They couldn't take a charge.
Yeah, and based on what I was seeing with the servo panel went dark.
Yep.
And then my microcell thermometer went dark.
Yep.
And you know, I had the fridge faults.
Yep.
All of those things are a 12 volt DC
Yes.
issue. And you know, it's Occam's razor, because the simplest explanation is almost always right.
Yep.
And that's the battery first and not some major other problem.
Right, exactly.
So we've got the fridge plug turned back on. Everything else seems to be okay. We're going to keep an eye on all this stuff, make sure it's working. And what's interesting is Joel came down here from Custer. We're heading toward Custer. So if I got a problem in the next couple of days, we'll be seeing each other again.
There you go.
But I want to thank you so much for your time and for taking the time to explain this to everybody else, because this is important stuff to try and understand.
It is. It very much, yes.
Awesome. Okay, we are finally saying goodbye to Cottonwood Springs Campground. And we're heading for Wind Cave National Park today, which is 17 miles, 26 minutes. It is 1:40 in the afternoon. Henry seems to think it's 98 degrees up. I think it's more like about 85, but it's definitely warm. It's supposed to rain some more. Got water, so we're good to go. So after 6 nights and 7 days at the Cottonwood Springs Campground, we're finally on our way to Wind Cave National Park. It's been quite the ordeal over the past few days dealing with all the electrical issues. And so like last night, and this is one advantage of traveling with somebody else as well, Barb lent me her EcoFlow power generator, power bank. I hate it when they call them power generators because they don't generate power, they store power and then distribute it. Anyway, she lent me her EcoFlow so we could keep Starlink running for both of us. And I was able to recharge my laptop this morning, and I've been charging my phone and all that kind of stuff. And now I took her regular AC outlet power cord once my stuff was done, plugged her in to my coach to just a regular outlet, and started charging her EcoFlow back up because I took it down to 29% today, and started charging it back up using my solar and lithium system. And so going from 28% on her EcoFlow to 80% didn't take very long. It only took about 15-20 minutes, I think. And it dragged my batteries from 100% down to 93%. So I said, yeah, that's enough of that. And hopefully we're going to get enough sun to recharge my batteries again before the rain comes in this afternoon. But whatever, it'll be fine. I can always run the generator. So we verified that everything's working. We had some concern that I might have had a converter problem, but we think it really was just the batteries. And hopefully that's correct. Alright, I'm going to pick you up when we get into the town of Hot Springs because it's pretty cute. And then we're down to 16 miles, 15 miles, I can't tell which that says. 15 miles, 21 minutes. And I think after this we're on all paved roads, so that'll be nice. Welcome to Hot Springs, South Dakota. So we went to a restaurant yesterday and had a bison burger, and it was delish. We actually entertained the thought of going back there again today, but they're closed. So this part of town isn't particularly attractive, but we're going to come up to a couple of murals down here in a moment that are very attractive. The one on the left says, "Greetings from Hot Springs, South Dakota." And the one on the right has a bunch of balloons, and you should be having them start to come into view right about now. Balloons on the right. Postcard like welcome, greetings from Hot Springs, South Dakota on the left. And look at the rock formations. It's a nice little town. It's very pretty. They've got a nice Riverwalk park. Oops. Almost missed that turn. Okay. Oh, I guess maybe this is where we... Yeah, this is where we came yesterday. There we go, good job. Alright, so no bison burger and ice cream today. How about the brewery down here, the Whiskey Barrel or whatever? You want to do that?
Sounds good.
Alright, right, I gotta find it and I gotta turn around to be able to park. So we just had lunch here at Whiskey River. It was really good, but it turned out to be fairly expensive for me. I had their Philly cheesesteak special, which they said was $19 and came with fries, tater tots, or onion rings. I got onion rings, and turns out there was a $3 upcharge for onion rings. I asked for an extra slice of cheddar. They charged me $1.50 for that, and they charged me $1 to get barbecue sauce. So that's a little disappointing. That was $3, $4, $5.50 in extra charges, and I don't care about the extra charges per se, except they didn't give me any warning, so that was disappointing. The beer was good. Look at this cool looking building over here on the left and the right, actually. Very cool. So we got 10 miles, 13 minutes to get to Wind Cave National Park, which Google is telling us the route may be affected by severe thunderstorms. Cool looking building on the left here too. Okay. Black Hills Meat Company. Oh, and look, there's a casino here at the, what's it called? Corner Pantry at Phillips 66. And the place that I had picked just outside of Wind Cave, which was only like 5 minutes away, I think said that it might be muddy if there's rain, so might need to look at my second choice, which is going to be further away. But oh well. And I think it's just basically a parking lot by the road, like a trailhead. But we'll see. So I think we'll be saying goodbye to Hot Springs now. At least I don't have to make dinner today. And hopefully my fridge is starting to cool down. To Wind Cave, 30 to Custer, I think it said 50 to Mount Rushmore. And we'll be seeing all of those in the next few days. Cold Brook Recreation Area, 1 mile. Huh. I wonder if that's a Corps of Engineers park as well. Campground. But after all the money I've spent in the last couple of days, I really don't want to spend any more on camping for quite some time. And just while we were sitting in the restaurant, you know, it took us, what, like 10, 12 minutes to get there? We were there for about 45 minutes or so. So say in an hour, my batteries went from 93 to 99%. And it's been pretty overcast, not quite this overcast the entire time, but pretty much. Somebody doesn't have his seatbelt on, do you? Let's see if we can fix that. Alright, so we're gonna get these last few miles in, and we'll check in with you when we get there. So we are actually entering Wind Cave National Park here, and we've got about 4 miles to go before we get to the visitor center. And it looks like it's just about starting to rain. It also said large wildlife on road next 7 miles. It looked like an elk in the picture to me, which is large wildlife, but I don't know. I guess having had the herds of them that lived around the Tehachapi area and seeing them all the time, it was never that big a deal to me. Like, I felt like I needed to be warned about it. Moose, on the other hand, which I have never seen live, only dead going into the way station in Fort Kent, Maine. I've always wanted to see moose alive, and perhaps I'll get to it at some point. And bison would be cool. I don't know how I managed to slow down so much. And I thought perhaps we were going to outrun this rainstorm, but I guess not. Park information, tune radio to 1600. That's too much trouble. I'll just get my park information when I get there. And here comes the rain. Okay, I swear I just felt a raindrop on my wrist. Please don't tell me I got a leak. I felt one, I don't know, it's been at least a few weeks ago. I'm going to assume that was just my imagination. Yeah, that's what I'm going to assume. Okay, well now you can't see anything as I'm smearing the raindrops across the windshield. So it's this way to Wind Cave Tours. And we are just about 3/4 of a mile from the visitor center. Oh yeah, and there is a campground here. Not a very nice one. Well, look at that view. So I wonder if the cave runs underneath all of these hills here. I'm betting. Keep right and go slow. Better be some RV parking up here. Okay, Kit. Wind Cave National Park Visitor Center and headquarters. RV parking on the other side. Hopefully there's enough room for us. Yes. Is this RV parking right here? No, that's 10 minutes only. But I'm gonna go right here. This looks like RV parking to me. Okay, Kit. Okay, so that was Wind Cave National Park that I didn't really get to see much of because the one of the rangers, probably the boss, came into the movie, leaned across somebody else to talk to me about Kit's service capability. And when she wouldn't stop, I said, you know, we're not going to do this. We're not going to have a conversation over top of somebody else. And so we just went ahead and walked out. So we didn't get to see the movie. We didn't get to see anything because all the tours were sold out today. So there you go. So I didn't get to have much of a wind cave experience. Hope you get to have a better one. And I guess, you know, the thing to keep in mind is how we do anything is how we do everything. There's a bison. There's a bison on the right.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, got a picture of it. Woohoo! The thing to remember is how we do anything is how we do everything. And the ranger that was working behind the desk when we came in did ask me if he was a service dog. And I explained he was, but he had been abused by children, and so he will sometimes bark under those circumstances, because it was a kid that ran at us like as soon as we walked into the visitor center. And there have been a whole bunch of them running around out of control outside. You know, I can control my dog. Why can't people control their children? No. Why don't people control their children? That would be the question. So we just left. It's easier that way. And I think Barb stopped to take a picture too. So I'm going to stop my rant. And we're looking for a place to camp tonight now at this point. There we go. So we got a couple of possibilities that are dispersed camping along a Forest Service road. Oh, and there's still no cell signal. I actually have Starlink running while I'm operating, because I figured it wasn't going to be all that long before we got stopped for the night. And then I wouldn't have to unwrap the cords again. Okay, so we're heading toward Custer. We're not planning to get to Custer today. I guess I'm going to wait for these three very well-spaced cars. So I'll pick you up again when we get closer, see something interesting. Well, here are our bison. Look at them. And look at all of them over there. That's a bunch of bison. You know, they're cute and they taste good. That's my favorite combination in animals. Okay, well, we got to see a whole herd of buffalo. And I sort of kind of almost got some close-up in-focus pictures, but they're still fuzzy. So I bought an adapter, a pair of binoculars with an adapter to be able to take pictures with your phone. And it's just so daggone windy out today that I couldn't get it done. So I'm gonna try again when it's less windy. But definitely pretty cool. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, how this pans out over time. And it's funny, it's either cold outside because it's windy, it's only 76 degrees, while we've been sitting in the sun, so it's probably about 70, I'm guessing, 72. And I wonder if the rain is gone now. I guess we're exiting, oh, no, we're entering Black Hills National Forest. So we are looking for Forest Road camping today, and I think we know where we're going to find some. Look at this. That's an interesting setup. Huh. Okay, so 1.1 miles and we're going to turn on Cold Springs School Road and see what that looks like. My overlander has our next intersection where we're going to be turning marked as a photographic point. I bet it is. That's pretty photogenic, don't you think? And look, there's all the dark clouds up ahead of us again. Oh joy. Alright, let's see what this looks like. Okay, so I think our first spot that I picked is 3/4 of a mile up the road, but it's possible, I guess, we could see something before then as well. I'll tell you what, I got like 8 flies in here I'd really like to get rid of. Not quite sure what's up with all the downed trees off to the left. Maybe fire? I don't know for sure. Certainly is pretty. Okay, well, I don't know what that road is, but it also looks like it can get pretty mucky. And we don't want to get mucky today. I think I'm going to look at the Onyx map. Well, somebody's camped down here. This would have been a little tight. But it's not one of the sites that I had picked either. Pretty horses. They're in the field kit.
You have arrived.
Well, this is the first site that was marked, but it's somebody's driveway, so I'm gonna keep going. It's pretty, guys. And so just because it says that dispersed camping is allowed doesn't mean there's necessarily any place to do it. The 2 places that I had marked aren't panning out. What's this up here on the right, maybe? Like somebody's driveway too, doesn't it? Or is it? Okay, well, there's this little offshoot road here, and I went up and walked it. It's hard to see, but it's a really steep approach. In order for me to get in there, I would have to come way up here and back way up along the edge of that road. And it's supposed to be really bad thunderstorms today and tomorrow. And we walked up and looked, and we think it's okay from a thunderstorm perspective, but we couldn't get level necessarily. And we both agreed for one night, not that big a deal, but if we get stuck hanging out all day tomorrow, we'd rather do it on pavement than in some place that might be sketchy. And there's no cell signal here, although I do have Starlink up. So we'd be okay that way. So we're going to go to a trailhead instead. And hope that's okay. I mean, this would be better for Kit because I could just let him run around, and he already did and had a good time, didn't you? You had fun running around. back here though. Alright, well, that was fun. Too bad it didn't work out this time. I figured we might as well let this guy go by.
Yes, because according to GPS, this road is 65 miles an hour.
Wow. And I'm doing 9. Well, he's not going super fast. I can still see his dust cloud. And we got almost 2.5 more miles of this before we get back to the highway, so I think you've seen what you need to see here. And hey, I got to see bison today, so yay for that. We made it back to pavement. Yay for that. And that van was at the visitor center at Wind Cave when we were there. Interesting. So we got about 10 miles to our trailhead, which will be on the left-hand side. I seem to be squeaking less than I was. I tightened up a lot of the screws in my door frame area, but I don't think I got them all. Oh, and I still haven't dealt with the drawer that needs to be fixed. And I can only assume my furnace was making that bizarre noise based on having had all the 12-volt power removed and then reapplied, and it got confused. That's all I can think. So while we were stopped looking at the bison, I turned the furnace on, waited for the burner to kick on, ran it for a minute, and then turned it back off. And the speed limit on the paved road is only 55, not 65.
Yeah, it's strange. The other crappy road was 65 and this one's 55.
Crazy, I tell ya. Okay, good looking rock formations here. So basically we're going to be sleeping on the side of the road tonight. And hopefully that'll turn out to be okay. I think it will. And it'll get us closer to where we want to be for tomorrow too. So there's that. Look at that menacingly dark sky and that beautiful rock formation off to the right. Yeah, I think we're going to drive into the rain. Oh well. Been an interesting day. Getting pretty close, about a half a mile. And we've passed a couple of other trailheads already for this Mickelson Trail, and here comes the rain. Here comes the rain, and I say, Tatanka Hot Shoe Base. Couldn't tell what that was. Yep.
Okay, so I guess I'll pull into this one.
Unless you want to come in behind me and be closer to Starlink.
Be better.